Okay, so I said I was going to make a video on why getting offended is stupid. Um, Everybody gets offended sometimes. You can't help it. Like somebody says something, they catch you in the wrong, then you get upset or whatever. But, you know, then there's people who generally get offended by things, which, years ago, I already kind of had the attitude like, why let people make you mad? Why get bent out of shape? Not exactly sticks and stones, but that's what we was told as a kid. And the younger generation seems to have not been given that lesson. The idea was, sticks and stones can break my bones, but names can never hurt me. That's what you were supposed to say to yourself, or that's what parents and teachers used to teach you in previous generations, so that if kids at school made fun of you or whatever, you would just get over and be like, hey, you can't hurt me with words. Yeah, you throw rocks at me and that'll suck. But the idea was to get over it. And even though it's like a twee phrase or whatever, once you get used to thinking that, a lot of things do not bother you as much as they did. Now, younger generations, and they're taught that this is all bullying, and I'm not saying it's not, but I feel like instead of working to fix the situation, it's only giving people more reason to feel like they can't do anything about it, or the bullying should take over their life or anything like that. So, and I'm not talking about bullying, but I'm talking about the on the weaker side, the getting offended part of it. Meaning not serious hardcore bullying. I'm not talking about that at all. Um, so beyond sticks and stones is an idea that, you know, the way you feel can be controlled. I don't completely believe that either. You know what I mean? If somebody says something hurtful to you, you're going to be hurt if that thing hurts you. So my way of thinking was that if somebody calls you a name or insults you and it hurts you, whatever they're calling you, if that takes hold inside you, it's because some part of you believes it, or some part of you believes that there's something wrong with you because of whatever that word is. Okay? Or you believe that you are that thing. So say somebody calls you stupid. You're not going to get hurt by somebody calling you stupid, in my opinion, unless part of you thinks that you might actually be stupid. If somebody's calling you stupid to win an argument, you know what I mean, and you get upset, then you might think that there is something faulty with your logic. There is something, you know what I mean? Obviously, they can't win the debate. That's why they're calling you stupid, because they're trying to insult you and move away. But I'm saying, if you take it to heart, if you say, you can't call me stupid, and you get all offended, that's because some part of you worries that you are stupid. The way I see it. And that will go, I'm using stupid as an example because I think that's probably one of the weaker things that we're called to be insulted in this world. But, and everybody can understand that one. But, years and years and years ago, when I used to read a lot of self-help books or stuff like that, I think it was Deepak Chopra said something to the effect that getting offended was a waste of time. And like I said, I already had that kind of thinking in my head, but I was like, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Because say somebody insults you or tries to offend you. If you put any amount of time on it, it's taking up your day, it's taking up your mind. You could be doing other stuff. You know what I mean? Instead of worrying about what this person said. And like I said, these younger generations, for whatever reason, they weren't drilled with the sticks and stones idea. And I think with certain TV shows and stuff like that in the 90s that try to get everybody to do journaling and talk about their feelings all the time, I think we went too far, especially with the kids. It's one thing if you're 40 and you want to journal about all the crap in your life because you don't have anybody to talk to. But with kids getting too feely and emoty, when kids were already a bunch of emos, going back for centuries, because that's who you are as a teenager. You're already knee deep in your feelings because you got all kinds of hormones going and stuff like that. So kids need to back up from their feelings, because they'll drive themselves crazy and they'll feel like crap and they'll do things that they shouldn't do, you know, because they're on this roller coaster with emotions and stuff like that. So for kids to get offended, they're just, you know, raw nerves and, you know, frayed wires already, because they're in a time in their life where they're in a great deal of upheaval hormonally that will affect their emotions. And so making them feel even more like they're being victimized by words and stuff like that, I don't think that's helping. That's, again, my opinion. You can have another opinion. But the point is, if you try to say to yourself, why am I getting offended? What is this doing for me? Am I letting this person win now? Because that's what ends up happening. If somebody's trying to offend you and you get offended, they've succeeded. They won. 1 point for them. You know what I mean? If somebody calls you a name, whatever that name is, if you get all riled up and all upset, again, 1 point for them. You know, that may be the bonus round. They may get 3 points for that. You know, if you get really upset and really hurt. If it now builds where every time somebody calls you the same name, you get more upset, more upset, more upset, until you feel like you have to hate the world and hate everybody because people are calling you this name. Now you're over identifying with this, and they've really won. Whoever that one person is, or those 5 people are, they've really won, because they've taken over your life and your emotions, and they live in, as they say, they live rent free inside your head. But beyond your head, they're living in your heart now, and you let them in. And I'm not saying it's your fault. It's just, once people start hurting you that way and you're able to be hurt in that way, it's going to happen more and more often. So the best thing to do would be to try to learn to not get offended in the first place, and say, you know what, sticks and stones, you know, it's not going to bother me. You know, you say whatever you want. That's you. That's your problem. You know what I mean? You think that I'm this, you think that I'm that, you're calling me that slur. You're calling me that to offend me. I'm not going to let you offend me, because then you win. You got what you wanted. So every time somebody calls you a name and you react in some way, it's like they're taking energy. Just think of energy. Think of charging your phone. Think of how your phone takes the energy from, you know, the grid through the wire in your home. And it's the same thing. People take energy from each other. People feed off energy from each other. Somebody upsets you, they take the energy from you. Now you feel low. You feel down, because they took your energy out of you by offending you, and you gave it to them. And I believe it actually happens. I'm not just saying this. I believe that there's energy between people, because I feel it. I feel it all the time. I feel people's energies. It's why, another reason, I try to stay away from people as much as possible. But if you can just not engage and say, you know what, that's your problem, and keep your energy inside yourself, you're going to be a lot better off. That, in a nutshell, is why I think getting offended is stupid. It's a waste of time. It's just not worth it, because you're letting them win. You know what I mean? So try on a daily basis. If you do get offended all the time, just try to train yourself out of it, because it's not going to happen easily. Like I said, everybody gets offended sometimes. But just realize how much energy you're giving to that other person. You're letting them take from you, and how that affects the rest of your life and your ability to do the things you want to do and you want to concentrate on. Okay?